climate change will worsen. And we've got to find ways to help displaced people.
Time to sea rise and sea around come inside the place. I'm sa floating mall container na all kanu tu lo nambis I'm sa come inside the place.
From my young age, we have a big mass of land. To this age, I see the island is getting smaller. The island is being eroded away by the high rise of sea level.
What we see now weren't really seen those times. We were seeing a bit of that, but it wasn't as extreme as we see today. So the islands weren't experiencing a lot of king tides. The islands weren't experiencing shoreline erosion, fast shoreline erosion. Now these are real extremes. Some years back when I also returned while being away from the island for a long time, I saw that there was a lot of changes. The sea had eroded more than 50 meters of the land and into the island. And also we lost our staple food crop in 2001. And now we're experiencing a lot of storm surges, really frequent. King tides between November and Feb, too much as well. We experience that the level of the sea is also rising. And these are situations that, give people anxiety as to what they are going to experience, what may come in as a result of these king tides. People are now trying to build seawalls. Communities on the island are also trying to reforest mangroves or replant in areas where there are no mangroves, where the land is really low. They are trying to grow mangroves so that it will buffer the sea from going onto the land. Building seawalls. But these aren't enough.
We've been come along 2009, March number 9. Time we've been stopping because we look was some population of big pla na solo Bagarapim Island na source of food. So nami think long move ikam long mainland. One time family from me. Now Mr. Pro here, Mr. also me as please because me got plenty work he come up along here. Me got all gardens, all food. Now me got all 1 hectare block. Or one family. Ikatolo line belong or stable island, but emi had long transport lo game kaka igolong island lo husat mi online belong play stable island. One kind to me hamamas because mi play katolo block na money mi play sabe kisim emi by school fee, belong all picnic, belong me play. Side block church to contribution belong church, me plus have give him because me plus stable here, me plus stable any long ground block mission lo church. Same na all lily one me I'm some come belong church me plus have contribute.
Blokatret si kam setolo here mibin bit pla meri pinis something or something pla Christmas na uli stapon te mi pla so stablong olwan te mi pla em no got cross, em no got one pla kain bale heavy o one em come up one time all lomipla. Em only kamos em pad blomipla na plenty all people blomipla all some all big man. All yet to been give him talk all right long all come. Some all come through lo diocese na mipla all some lo Paris mipla hamamas lo kisimo lo here because em lo here em ground all stop long em ground blow missing yet. Em no customary land. Asem na plenty all people only accept him all. For only sabos sem back local threats sem only got sem climate change na solwara wok lo wasim island blong all. Nata muli harim this latok all people blong here only accept him all only hamamas all sem only can come stop all sem part blow tin puts.
Stop mi pa sa lining passing custom blongol. Now mi plow klo get used now lo custom blongol tin puts because kind of same time blow die mi pla sa behind ni mall. Na mi pla sa lo how lo sema pla prepare kai blow go on them no feast kind of thing. Mi pla line now big plus something semi no diet sol semol big pla initiation sa kama plo tin puts area mi plus go ol yang pla blo katret si relocate lo ya oli mas ting gut na marit lo ol mainland man semol lang lo tin puts bal no ken ting lo raw si mi pla go klo class.
Mi plus atoke mi blo liang plan or sambla big man bla. You mean no can stop nothing osem. You mean masape mo big bla mon with slam transport blim you mean. Suppose one something a mepen no night or lo daytime and you can call with slam away. Suppose you money no ka transport and time heavy come up and you know na wala plan by you die on them place. Osena by looking now liang plan magi bombla work lo make mo sabe mo big bla or log kama po semon em transport dumi plo island man no time usem anything happen usem solora rise od sila kain em mi pla kain kalapson na move inside lo mainland
mi pla mas mubim sampla man meri masiko stop lo big ground lo kama pim nara pla place because mi place a stone by shot lo mi pla join him nambi sigo stone by shot rip stone and by shot na tu em mi pla walk lo bagarapim environment blo mi pla tu lo peace how stuff because I mean house plo peace mi pla no gonna collect him all this last stone no gat and mi pla brukim and mi pla brukim all stone Nami place out, picky molly come lo, join in place. And this la behind time by me play go, pani maybe belong him too.
Mi tiga tingti lo mi toki mo longo but lo movie mo go inside hard to. Osa mi toke. All no used too much to sit down. Pompla something kai mo karai lo yaw mo less lo stop long apola come island.
Climate change is a big issue, not only province-wise in Milne Bay. If I can just give you a quick statistics, Milne Bay has about 600 island atolls, 2/3 of our population of about 300,000 now, 200,000 live on those islands and 100,000 just on the mainland. And we have a lot of small island communities. Of the 600 island atolls, 149 are inhabited. That's where the 200,000 people live, on those 149 islands, and only 100,000 on. Those 600 islands that I mentioned will not be 600 anymore because of the sea level rise that's affected by or impacted by climate change. And so some of those smaller islands and atolls will be underwater pretty soon. Yeah, and because of that, as a responsible government, the provincial administration and the provincial government, our leaders, have put in place certain measures and plans in our IPDP, that's an integrated provincial plan that captures going forward how we can help our people to assist our people from those maybe sinking islands because of the climate change impacts to move them. We have yet to get to that stage yet. Within the next 2 years, maybe even before 2 years, before 2023, I might have a call to seriously consider moving number of people out from the smaller island communities. Buri is one, and other smaller island communities. Ware is one. The population is 1,000 plus for a small island. Buri have about 400. It's the people will have to make the decision, and the government will have to come in and assist them in their request to move. But we need to find a place before they move this way. Otherwise, they'll force us to find a place, and it might be another issue where government land might not be available, and we have to negotiate with landowners to bring our people to live. So I think it's very important. Climate change is here to stay. It's going to have a very big impact on all of us, and it's not just the communities that are going to be affected. The whole government system should be affected, and so the national government, with the other levels of government, right down to wards, we need to work together, collaborative partnerships, and find a way. We are affected, and when we are done, we'll be looking at other international friends who are also in the same situation as us. It's a global village. We need to work together to save ourselves.
Climate induced can be like, it creates those secondary threats like food shortage, it's one, water. Those are the things that is created from climate change effect. Communities that we identify to be at risk to have their own plans as well, and prepare them for the challenges that they will face in the future. Like if you compare the ones that are inland and the ones on the island are more affected than the ones in the inland, because though they like experience a bit of the climate change, but they still can cultivate land, and they can be able to survive on the land. But the ones out on the sea, they sorry, not sea, but on the island, they are more prone to food shortage, water and health issues, other stuff like that, which will cause them to be more like vulnerable to those related diseases that came about from the climate change effect.
Yeah, as a directorate that looks after the climate change, we understand the issues associated with the climate change and the rising of the sea level, and we understand what to do, but the funding allocated by the government is insufficient. So one of the challenges is reallocation of resources. We cut from critical areas, and then we give it to address climate change issues relating to people. And for example, we have cut down on the capacity building funds and bought rice instead to feed the people of atolls who are affected by climate change. In future,
these people need to be, we need to look at, that's, giving them food is one thing. We need to look at medium and long-term solutions.
So believe all them all got faith lo God na. O say tupla church, tripla church one time stop na. All big man talk of some suppose solwara raus him church o geta. Then that's mean God no like him lo stop na. Him move kon child lo big ground. But suppose solwara no bar of him church lo him na church him sana faith. And believe lo mi pla osem. Mi pla got God na. God yet look out to mi plan and bless them.
Walk blongo lo church good la. Blongo nem time missionary lusim pinsape ni kam lo tua mem place lo seto lo siasi lo ya. Lo ya. Biain also mem liklik island na nogat ground all sit down in missionary na all move lo yang. So oliet sa tingim istiri blon disala na oliet sa tok na melong oliet.
We cannot control this one, it's inevitable. But what we can do, we can tell them to move to another land. The churches are not really going directly in that area now because we are part of this thing. We are part of this impact. We are part of the life. The church is part of the livelihood of the people. Not only Lutheran church, but all the churches around the country. They're part of the livelihood of the people. People settle around the churches. People settle around the food. They move where the food goes, better. So these two things are food and the churches. And we are grappling and shuffling resources around how can we comfort people within this context of thinking and this impact of climate change.
I think if the church sees the need for the relocation for them, I guess they might consider nationally, provincially, at the district, at the community, and also support from the NGOs, the church organizations. I guess, if we all put our heads together and put all our resources in one basket, we can go a long way. So the effect is real. The effect of climate change is real. For those of us that have been traveling to the communities, we've seen it for ourselves. We've heard it from our people, the cries of our people in asking for whatever support can be given to them. So we are doing a little part. We are sort of providing a little part of the issue that relates to water, sanitation.
And Milne Bay is a diversity of islands. You've got your low-lying cornice islands, you've got your high mountainous islands, your Makateas corner. There's just so many different environments within Milne Bay that climate change affects them all slightly differently. Sure, there are clusters of types of different islands, but exactly where they're placed and where their trade routes are, how they relate to growth centres, and what kind of island they are in other communities is different basically for each island. We're kind of lucky to have the Cooler Ring because that's a trade network that's been set up where one island has too much of something and another one has a lack, so there can be a balance through traditional trade. And these are things that people have done. But the most visible sign of climate change in a province that's mainly islands is sea level rise. Without a doubt, there are stories of people who have seen, in the last 2 generations especially, a loss of low-lying areas.
We have policies like RED Plus to address climate change across all sectors. What I want to see is a translation of the policy at the international level and the government level, embedded to provincial coordination and LLG and world level. And also the government has to work with the local NGOs who are working with the local communities, churches or other collaborators who are working with the communities where the impact is most felt in that way, we are contributing to the bigger picture of addressing climate change, but seeing a clear roadmap that resource and support can be channeled through, and we make an impact, and that impact can be reported against our efforts towards mitigating climate change, as opposed to talking about climate change at a higher level, but we do not see a roadmap of how the resource will be translated to where the impact is. So if you look at NGOs, church, having all the stakeholder partners mapped out properly, and then you channel the resource, then we can report against how the impact has been mitigated by way of intervention programs and projects at the impact level.
If only you were with me in the island now, then you will see and then you will feel how, and you will witness it. Even though my school children now I feel sad of them. Every morning they wake up, they get the coconut, just eat it and run to the school. Afternoon, lunchtime they get coconut, go. How would you feel if you eat coconut one day?
I don't want some things like to be happen all the time, like people coming in and I mean, these people is like, people have been coming to just come and see, interview, and nothing has been done. They just come and go. We want something to happen. People, you know, the climate is changing. Climate change yang kaya mi plastab na. Even no sabi, anytime may mapinisin mo katahap.
What a kid I become. Bai Yumi Go We. Sit down by Senis anytime long worry. Time before me stop, I'm a mess. Let's look nice. So why to sleep so they bikini ni amamas. So now, let's see bagara. So what a kid become bagara in place. Bai Yumi Go We, a suave long